Watch their moves. If this happens, it means the narcissist is still obsessed with you. The narcissist will never admit it out loud, but you are not like the others. You are not just another easy target for them to toy with and toss aside when they were done. No, you saw behind the mask. You caught onto their game. And when they pushed too hard, you did what very few ever find the strength to do. You walked away. That moment changed everything. They would love for the world, and for you, to believe that it didn't matter, that you were replaceable. But here's the truth they will never confess. They still think about you every single day. You are the one that slipped through their fingers, and the thought of losing control over you gnaws at them relentlessly. On the surface, they act as if they have moved on with ease. They perform indifference like a stage play. But behind closed doors, their daily behavior screams something very different. They can't forget you. They can't let you go. And deep down, they know it. That brings us to today's discussion. 7 things a narcissist does every day after losing someone like you. Number 1. They work overtime to convince themselves that they never cared. This is classic gaslighting, but this time they are doing it to themselves. One of the strangest ironies about a narcissist is this: the louder they insist that you meant nothing, the clearer the obsession actually is. Whatever they shout the loudest is often the opposite of the truth. They will say to others, "Oh, I barely remember them," or roll their eyes as if your time together was a meaningless chapter. They may even paint it as just a casual fling or something trivial. But if that were truly the case, why are they still talking about you? Why are they still checking your social media or slipping your name into conversations? The answer is simple: because you mattered more than they can admit. Underneath their smug act is rage. Rage that they didn't succeed in breaking you, anger that you didn't crawl back begging for their validation, and humiliation that someone they thought they controlled walked away with strength. But instead of facing that reality, they rewrite the story in their mind, repeating the lie that you never mattered until it sounds almost believable to them. Yet their actions always give them away. If someone is truly insignificant, you don't spend your time tearing down their name, trying to discredit them, or telling others exaggerated stories about how crazy or toxic they were. You only do that when the person still has power over you in some way. And that's exactly what you represent to them. A wound to their ego they cannot heal. They cannot comprehend how you are not only surviving but thriving without them. Their delusion was that you needed them, that you couldn't stand on your own 2 feet without their presence. But you are already your own partner, your own emotional rock, often even your own provider. That reality, that you never actually needed them the way they wanted to believe, is enough to quietly destroy them every single day. Number 2, they scramble to replace you, but the attempt always fails. The moment you walk away, the narcissist wastes no time parading a brand new relationship. Often it's one they had already lined up before you even left. Suddenly, their social media is flooded with staged smiles, over-the-top captions, and endless displays of their perfect love story. Engagement rings, vacations, soulmate hashtags, it's all part of the act. To the outside world, it looks like they moved on without missing a beat. But behind that performance is raw panic. Because no matter how hard they try, they can't erase you. They can't replace you. Here's the truth: narcissists don't move on to better, they move on to easier. They seek someone more pliable, someone still blind to their manipulation, someone who hasn't seen the mask slip yet. Their new supply isn't an upgrade, it's a placeholder, chosen not for love, but for compliance. And while they posture for validation, while they post picture after picture trying to prove how blissfully happy they are, there's a gnawing awareness inside them. You were different. You walked away with strength, independence, and a resilience they will never possess. That realization haunts them. It eats at them in the quiet moments when the performance fades and they are left with the hollowness of who they really are. Number 3, they keep watching you, even from the shadows. You can block them on every platform, change your number, and cut off all possible access, but a determined narcissist will still find ways to keep tabs on you. They'll create fake accounts. They'll snoop through mutual friends. They'll accidentally bump into you in places they know you frequent. The obsession doesn't stop, because they need to know: are you suffering without them? Are you secretly missing them? And then comes the blow that shatters their ego. You're not suffering. You're thriving. You're smiling. You're building a life that is healthier, stronger, freer. That sight cuts them deeper than any words could. Because in their twisted narrative, they believe they were the best thing that ever happened to you. Watching you grow beyond them. Watching you heal and rise without their presence. It's unbearable. This is why I always say the greatest revenge on a narcissist is not payback, not confrontation, but living well, flourishing. Every milestone you achieve, every ounce of happiness you radiate, suffocates them like a weight on their chest. Because it proves what they fear most, that despite all their attempts to crush you, to weaken you, to make you dependent, they failed. And even if they act indifferent, even if they pretend they've erased you, you remain lodged in their thoughts, haunting them in the silence of their nights. Number 4, they distort the past to crown themselves the victim. Taking responsibility is like poison to a narcissist. To admit they drove you away would mean confronting the truth, that they weren't as untouchable, as magnetic, or as powerful as they imagined themselves to be. So what do they do instead? They rewrite the narrative. They become the star of their own tragic story. Suddenly, you're painted as the ungrateful one, the unstable one, the crazy one who ruined everything. They'll say, I gave her everything. I supported him through everything. And still, they just left me. It's a performance designed to protect their fragile ego and fool outsiders into seeing them as the noble victim who was wronged. But it's more sinister than that. Over time, they actually begin to believe the very lies they created. This is called self-gaslighting, where the narcissist twists reality so much that they convince themselves their version is true. And the more they smear your name, the more obvious it becomes. You terrify them, because deep down, they know exactly what they did. They know if the mask slipped and people saw the real story, their carefully polished image would shatter. So they double down, spinning the truth into a shield, all in the name of damage control. But no matter how many times they rewrite the script, you and I both know the truth. It was never you who destroyed the relationship. It was them. Number 5. They hoover you with so-called coincidences. Have you ever noticed how, after weeks or even months of silence, out of nowhere you receive a text from them? Something vague, harmless sounding, like, hey, just saw something that reminded me of you. Hope you're doing well. Or maybe something cryptic, I've been thinking about reaching out for a while. At first glance, it might look like nostalgia, maybe even remorse. But don't be fooled, it's not love. It's not regret. It's a test. The narcissist is probing to see if the door is still open, if they can still reel you back in. These accidental texts, these sudden appearances, they are not about reconnecting. They are about control. They want proof that they still occupy space in your life, that they still matter enough to get a reaction from you. Because here's the truth. Nothing you ever gave them was enough. No amount of love, loyalty, sacrifice, or effort could fill the bottomless void inside of them. So they come back, dangling bait, hoping you'll nibble. When you respond, even with something small, they interpret it as a victory. See, I still have power. I still matter. But when you ignore them, that silence tells them everything they don't want to face. That they are weak, that they are stuck, that you are moving forward while they remain trapped in the same toxic cycle. They'll disguise it as an innocent mistake. Oh, sorry, wrong person. Or a casual check-in. But make no mistake, it's deliberate. It's a lure. It's their way of pulling you back into the trap so they can drain you one more time. Number 6. They spiral into self-destruction. When you walk away from a narcissist, it isn't just a breakup, it's a catastrophic wound to their psyche. Psychologists call it a narcissistic injury. But in simpler words, it's the kind of blow they are least equipped to handle. Because when you left, you did more than just remove yourself. You exposed them. You pierced the illusion, saw through the mask, and proved that their control wasn't as absolute as they believed. To the outside world, they may still strut around with fake confidence, flaunting new relationships, pretending life is picture perfect. But beneath the surface, they are crumbling. This collapse shows up in reckless choices. They burn bridges, destroy friendships, sabotage careers, and lash out at the very people they once used as allies. Why? Because rage is eating them alive from the inside out. And with you gone, there's no one left to dump their misery onto. For the first time in their life, they are forced to sit alone with their emptiness, and that's the very thing they fear most. Their entire identity depends on external supply, someone to adore them, fear them, admire them, or serve them. Without it, they are nothing but a hollow shell. I once spoke with a self-aware narcissist who admitted this exact truth. He said his only real breakthrough came when he was abandoned, left alone in silence, with no one to feed off of. Sitting in that emptiness, he realized the ugly truth. He had always been the problem. But here's the thing, even that realization didn't change him. Awareness didn't bring healing, it only brought recognition. Like a tiger noticing its stripes in the reflection of a river, the knowing didn't erase the reality of what it was. The destructive patterns remained, because narcissism is not about ignorance, it's about refusal. So what happens when they see you thriving while they're spiraling? It destroys them all over again. Your growth, your healing, your forward movement is like salt on their wound. Narcissists have no true sense of individuality. Their self-worth is measured only by comparison. Am I doing better than them? Am I winning? Without someone to compete against, they feel invisible, faceless, stripped of identity. And when the answer becomes undeniable, that you are moving on while they are collapsing, it triggers the one thing they cannot survive, a complete loss of self. That collapse is inevitable, because without control, without supply, without you, they are left with nothing but the fire of their own making. Number 7, and the final one, they will never forget you. A narcissist will carry the memory of you for the rest of their life, but not in the way you might think. It isn't love that keeps your presence alive inside them. It's the fact that you were different. Unlike so many before you, you refused to stay blind. You saw through the facade, through the games, through the endless manipulation. And most importantly, you walked away. That single act shattered the illusion of control they had built so carefully, and for that reason alone, you remain unforgettable. Every relationship they chase after you becomes a comparison. Every new partner, every new source of supply will be silently measured against you. And no matter how loudly they brag about moving on, deep down they are haunted by the same question. Why couldn't I control this one? Why did they slip through my fingers when everyone else stayed trapped? The answer terrifies them, because you prove that their power is not absolute. You are the living evidence that their manipulation does not work on everyone, and that truth will torment them forever. Even if they convince the world, or even themselves, that you meant nothing, the reality is that you were the lesson they never wanted to face. And here's where the healing shifts back to you. You must remember that their obsession is not about love, longing, or missing you. It is about defeat. Their thoughts of you are rooted in the need to reclaim control, to rewrite the ending, to prove to themselves that they can still win. That is why you must never give them another chance. If you open that door again, they will not return to you with love or change. They will return with the same hunger to destroy. And if you allow it, this time it is you who will end up feeling lost. So let this truth empower you. Cut the cord, release the weight, and close the chapter with finality. Their attachment to you is nothing more than a reflection of their failure, not your worth. Walk away knowing that you left a mark on them they cannot erase, and then let them drown in the emptiness they created. They do not deserve another second of your energy or your presence. This is your life, your healing, your freedom. And as you continue forward, may that freedom be the closure they never wanted you to find.